13th Street, Battle of the Bad Breath Bats by David Bowles. Chapters 7, 8, and 9.
Chapter 7. Rooftop Run. Defeat them, that's crazy. We're just 3 kids, Malia said. They're like huge flying rats. Ivan stood. We don't have any weapons. I've even lost my flippers running from those bad breath bats. Dante gave a nervous laugh. I don't think it would have helped. Yoliya smiled. That's why we have to go to the depot of the dead. Dante gulped. Ivan's eyes opened wide. Malia sighed. Doesn't sound like a place we want to visit. The storekeeper has a lot of amazing things on his shelves, Yoliya said, and I'm sure you can find something to fight the snatch bats with. Take a look at that. That's what they're imagining. Dante snapped his fingers. Just like a video game. We go in, find what we need. Ivan nodded. Then we buy it. Malia shook her head. We don't have any money. Okay, then we trade for it, Ivan said. Trade what? Your snorkel? Malia asked. Yoliya interrupted. Just tell him I sent you. He'll make a deal. Malia turned to the door and looked through the peephole. The snatch bats were flying around outside waiting. Tell me there's another way to this depot of the dead. Yoliya shrugged. I just walked through the walls. Malia rolled her eyes. Not an option. They're not ghosts. Is there a back door? Dante asked. No, said Yoliya, but you can go to the roof. The depot's only 3 buildings down. You can jump from roof to roof. But the bats might attack, Dante complained. They won't expect us up there, Ivan promised. Yoliya rushed up the stairs. Ivan and Malia followed. The choice was made. There were 3 floors and then a few more steps to the roof. The cousins stood under the gloomy sky. It was filled with a dark mist. Okay, Yoliya said, standing nearby. It was good meeting you. I hope you make it out. If not, come visit me. It gets lonely here. The door shut. It had the same strange symbol as the front entrance. Look at that picture. There's the depot of the dead. The cousins reached the edge of the roof. The next roof was pressed right against it. No gap, but it was a little lower. They climbed quietly over the edge and dropped to the flat, dirty surface of the second roof. A snatch bat popped through the strange gray sky, right out of thin air. It saw them and screeched. The other creatures must have heard because the air was suddenly filled with the sound of beating wings. Whoop, whoop! The cousins ran like they had never run before. Ark! The snatch bats rose into the air behind them. Ivan tripped over his own feet, but Dante caught him. They kept running. The creatures were getting closer. The next building was taller. Malia looked down at the deflated yellow duck in her hands. It had cost her parents a lot of money. She really loved it. What are you doing, Malia? Ivan shouted. They're coming. Closing her eyes for a second, Malia tossed the plastic aside. She jumped and grabbed the edge of the roof. Ivan gave her a boost and then helped Dante up too. The snatch bats dived toward him. Ivan was tall enough to reach the roof. He pulled himself up. His cousins were rushing to a door with the mysterious symbol. Just as Ivan started to run toward them, he was yanked into the air by one of the bats. Ooh, that does not sound good. Chapter 8. Strange Storekeeper. The big bat glared at Ivan. Its lips curled back, revealing teeth like knives. Then its breath hit. The stink was powerful. Ivan found it hard to move, but as the creature opened its jaws, Ivan lifted his right hand. He ripped his snorkel from his mask, and then he shoved it into the bat's mouth. With a roar of pain, the monster let him go. Whew! He's safe, hopefully. Ivan landed on the roof, limped toward his cousins. They were yanking on the door, desperate. It's stuck, cried Dante. Ivan shook his head aside. He shouted, Open Heban! The door popped open. Malia and Dante hurried inside. Ivan was right behind them. Close up, Kalan, he said just as the snatch bats came flying toward them. Whoosh! Slam! The bats couldn't stop themselves. One by one, they smashed into the closed door. Boom! Bam! Bash! Downstairs, said Malia. At the second landing, there was a man standing in a large doorway. His back was to them. At the sound of their heavy breathing, he turned around. Dante let out a frightened squeak. Eek! Ah! It's a calavera! Whew, he looked spooky. The man was indeed a skeleton. Not a scary one, though. He had friendly eyes. Hola! I'm Omi, the storekeeper. Ivan knew it was impossible. Skeletons couldn't talk, but maybe anything was possible on 13th Street. Hello, Malia stuttered. Yoliya sent us. We need to defeat the snatch bats. Well, step into the depot, chamacos, and take a look around, Omi said cheerfully. Chapter 9, Depot of the Dead. They followed Omi inside. His bones made weird marimba sounds as he walked. The Depot of the Dead was a big showroom. Lining the walls were many shelves covered with different items, plus dust and cobwebs. Let's split up, Ivan suggested. You can check that side, Dante said, his voice still a little shaky. Me and Malia will look over here. Most of the things on the shelves were silly or useless. Tennis rackets with no strings, chipped coffee cups, unmatched left shoes, blankets with holes. Look, Dante had grabbed a large water gun. 2 more were on a shelf nearby. Water won't stop them, Malia said. Omi was with Ivan. He had a huge smile. How do you defeat snatch bats? Ivan asked. No idea. I wouldn't try it, Omi replied. Ivan scratched his head. A skeleton, a ghost girl. Are we dead? The storekeeper poked him in the chest with a bony finger. Ow! Ivan complained. No, not dead, Omi said. Malia stormed over upset. This is everything you have in stock? Omi shook his head. Oh no, Mahita, there's more in the storeroom. Follow me. They went down to the basement. Omi showed them a much bigger room stuffed with boxes and crates. Arranged in the middle were hundreds of bottles of blue-green liquid. Ivan snapped his fingers. Yes! We'll take mouthwash, he said. We'll take it, all of it.
If you enjoyed this book, you may want to read some of the other 13th Street books. The next one is The Fire-Breathing Ferret Fiasco by David Bowles.